Hey, this is the Dear Next Gen podcast brought to you by Montage. We're all about bridging generational gaps through events, stories, and conversations about real stuff. Sit back, enjoy this episode, and don't forget, your younger self would be proud of you. Now, we present you your host, Cece.
Welcome to the Dear Next Gen podcast. Today's episode is part of a mini-series where we are just diving into some big sister advice. These are going to be bite-sized episodes, so you can listen to them on a short commute, on a little walk, going to run an errand, and hopefully you either learn something from these episodes or you have something to contribute to add to the advice that we are giving. These are going to be topics that we've heard people talk about either on Discord, in person, questions that we've been submitted, and they just feel very timely because there's a lot of information going around, and sometimes you just need another perspective, or you just need someone who's lived through what you have, or what you're currently going through, and that is why we're doing these really casual chat episodes. My name is Cece, and I'm one of the founders of Montage. We do a lot of fun things. You can look at the description and get to know Montage a bit more, but this podcast is for people of all generations. We share advice with people in different generations. We learn from each other, and we are just big sis vibes in general, so this feels like the perfect series to do. Today, I'm going to talk to you about something that I'm quite passionate about in the moment because it is currently close to holiday season when I'm recording this episode, but I know gifting happens all throughout the year. And if I do say so myself, I'm a pretty decent gift giver. I've never heard any poor feedback, and I've asked, and a lot of my friends have given me advice that works for them, and I've compiled all of that, and I think we have nailed the perfect gift giving recipe for a gift that will be successful. And when I say successful, I mean you feel good about it, you feel satisfied, fulfilled. There's a part of us inside of us that enjoys giving and serving people and loving on people, but also where the other person feels like they are seen, they are heard, they are appreciated, and that is where sometimes there's a bit of a disconnect. You can feel really good about giving a gift, and if the other person doesn't appreciate it, if you've been on the other side and you get given something and it feels like there's strings attached, or it was more for them to feel like they gave you something than you really thinking you'd use it and need it. And even if your love language is not receiving gifts, when you do receive something really personal and thoughtful and exciting, there's just nothing like that feeling. For quick context, I did not think gift giving or receiving was a top love language for me, and then all of a sudden it did, because the people in my life were just so intentional with what they were doing that I just felt like they knew me, and it became something that is really sentimental and emotional for me when I do receive a gift. And I think part of it is like growing up, I did not receive things that I loved, or we just like gave a list and people would give us exactly what was on that list. But when someone knows you enough that they surprise you, and it is something you've asked about or talked about or mentioned in the past, or from a brand that you're following on social media and really excited to receive anything of that brand, it just makes a really, really big difference. Okay, let's dive into the gift giving recipe. Another huge reason that we are doing this episode today is because there is a big trend in boo baskets, burr baskets, these Easter baskets, and there's nothing wrong with a cute basket. There's nothing wrong with Stanley Cups and Jelly Cats and Ugg slippers and all of that stuff that you see on social media. If you're using social media, it is really hard to miss these elaborate baskets of items that honestly end up probably costing hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I see the comments where people say, ouch, my budget, or if only I could receive this, or if only I could give this, or the captions are usually, I've been saving all these items throughout the year to give to my partner, to my friend, or my sister. And that's incredible. That's great. It is really fun to spoil people. But when the expectation is like that, it can be hard to appreciate gifts because that's all you're seeing all the time. And it can be hard to give a gift where you feel like it's enough. And I am definitely somebody who feels a little bit of dopamine from a new water bottle or bag or accessory, and I love to add things to my cart, and usually I don't end up getting them, but it feels good, and I feel a lot of pressure and anxiety also when it comes to having new items that are cute, and I am very, very pro purchase a cute item that is functional versus just a functional item that you actually don't want to look at, because the more that I become an adult, the more that all my cute functional things end up being fun for me to use every day, and they make me happy every day, and I don't feel like I have to buy more of them. So I definitely have finally reached that stage where I stop buying more and more and more of these pairs of scissors, or this, I don't know what it is, a cup or a mug, and I have the ones that I enjoy, and now I don't feel the need to always buy a new one or like swap a kind of meh one. Part 1 is you're going to want to think of one thoughtful gift. By thoughtful, I mean it is a brand that they love, it is an item that you think they need, but they wouldn't maybe get themselves, or they're not expecting. This is a gift that you know they will like. Do your research, ask around, find friends or family who can help you, go on their social media and see who they're following, take notes throughout the year. This is a one item that you want to be a winner, and you really have to humble yourself and say, why am I giving this gift? Is it for me to feel good, or is it for them to feel good? So try to make this one item something a little bit bigger, something fun. And that is when you can make the budget kind of bigger, one of those key items you see in those baskets. If it's a jelly cat or a water bottle or a coffee cup, a specialty coffee that they like, a set of really cute like hosting or tableware types of linens. You know your people, so think of the one item you know is going to be successful when you give it to them. The second part of the recipe is that you're going to need a treat. Either a treat that you enjoy, a treat that they enjoy, if you know their favorite chocolate, their favorite candy, or you guys have been to a little store that you know has a trinket or a snack that they really like. You can have a little bit more fun with this additional item. It could be also something that you personally use all the time that you want to share with them. It is very exciting to share a product that you're passionate about with your friends, and word of mouth and recommendations makes it easier to decide on something and like something long term. So for example, I bought a lot of gift sets during the last month, and what I do with those gift sets is I open them and I take one of the things for me. So for example, I got a Summer Fridays little gift set. I got one lip gloss for myself, and I kept the 3 other lip glosses for friends to add as that second item. So the second item I know is too small maybe to be a gift on its own for my own liking and what I want. It is budget appropriate for what works for me, and it's something I know that I use every day. So when I see them, or when they open it, or when I follow up later, I could say, hey, I use that lip gloss every day. I hope you like it, or I thought maybe it'd be fun for you to try it and see what you think. You can also use a candy that you know is a little bit more on the luxury side, and find a local brand that you're interested in purchasing, because that can be a really good add-on to a gift. We usually do things like a Blume blend or a bag of Smart Sweets, just something that you know adds to a gift, but I like to pick something that's cute too. The third part of the recipe is presentation. I think a lot of us are into those videos of the gift baskets and different things because it looks appealing. It looks big, it's fun. They usually wrap it cute, but you can wrap little things very, very intentionally, and it can be adorable. So stock up on some ribbon, put your big item attached to your little item, wrap it with some brown paper, string, a little snack, put real flowers on the outside, wrap it with that. You can make it unique and fun and make that part a very fun experience, instead of just adding all this random stuff to fill a giant bag or a giant box. Also, a little handwritten something is fun. I have not bought a proper card in a while. I do when it's a really funny card or a really unique card, or when you go to Trader Joe's and they have the cheap cards. But having a lot of little brown papers and little envelopes, I usually get them from Muji, goes a long way with writing a tiny note and adding that to a gift. So that's it. That is our go-to recipe for having an intentional gift that will go well. Another tip that I will add is that I grew up in a household where you always have a gift drawer, a gift bin. Some people have a closet where it's just full of random gifts that your parents have been collecting. And then when it comes to a birthday or an event, you have something to go to and to pick from. I think this is genius, and it also has been working really well for me in the last couple of years, because there are different sales that happen. There are also times where your income fluctuates, or you have a little bit of wiggle room to buy an extra item. Or like I mentioned before, if you're buying a gift set, sometimes there's multiple things in there and you might not use it all. I've bought a sage roller kit before and only used 2 out of them and kept the 2 other ones for gifts, and I added that to my gift plastic container, and that's what we use. I label it gifts, and we just put different things in there. Sometimes we put wrapping paper, ribbon as well. Just a quick go-to little shopping section for myself and my friends. What you need to know is make those item things that you love and make those items things that you would be excited to give. So it doesn't become impersonal. It actually is intentional because you're picking through those things. But you can have something in a couple of minutes all set up and ready to go if you have a last minute occasion. If you're wondering what to keep in those gift bins, I would recommend keeping a lookout for different sales for your favorite brand and grabbing a little thing here and there. Even thrifting could be really good. I have seen people thrift beautiful cookbooks, beautiful antique, just different like vases or is it vases? Anyways, those things, mugs, cups, just really nice jewelry dishes. You can thrift things. You can find them online. You can buy things on Etsy when there's a promo and it's like buy one, get one half off. Different things that you know your friends, your community might like. You don't even have to have a very specific person in mind or just kind of a genre of person in mind. Have those, put them in a bin, and you'll be set. I think those are usually a good second item, or depending on the find, it can be a very good first item. So an example is, what is the last thing that I put in the bin? I went to London Drugs, I live in Canada, and they had these beautiful coffee tumblers and the glass version of them as well. There's a ceramic and a glass, and they are a very popular, expensive brand. I mean, usually it's $45-ish, $50 for one of these tumblers. That doesn't even include shipping. And they had them for $9.99. So I ended up buying 2, a black one and a more colorful one. And those are things that I'm going to put in the bin today. And that is a perfect first gift, or it could also be a second item in the gift because it didn't cost me an arm and a leg. So if I'm getting somebody, I don't know, the specialty coffee that they really enjoy or a coffee grinder, and then I want to add this tumbler and put a ribbon around it, it will work fine and it will be budget friendly for me. So hope that big sister advice was good. We are excited to hear what you have to say. If you have given a gift that went really well, let us know. If you have received a gift that went really well also and you feel loved and special, tell us too. And if you have advice to add to this, you can Instagram DM us, talk to us on Discord, comment on the podcast, and what we'll do is put it together in a blog post and we'll quote you. All of our social media and our website is linked below. We're doing lots of fun things like mentor matching, events, this podcast, of course, but our online community is really strong and fun to be part of. So welcome if you're new here.